Greetings, beloved brothers and sisters. Welcome back to yet another one from us. We are trusting, hoping, and believing that all is well with you. And we want to thank you for your continued support, watching our videos every day, holding night vigil just to watch some of our videos and all of our videos for most of you. We'd also like to thank you for supporting us by buying us a coffee. We have a link in the description box down below. You can just buy us one coffee, two coffee, each goes for $5, and we are appreciative of all your coffees. We are coming to you with the news from Burkina Faso. Disappointing news that the CNN has reported about Burkina Faso. When we tell you guys that stop watching or stop relying on Western media for information, for news, especially from the African continent, this is what we mean. Just recently, June 4th, CNN reported that Burkina Faso has been named the most neglected crisis for the second time in a row. And they've just stated a lot of nonsensical reasons why this has been the case. So this is what the article reads. Burkina Faso has been named the world's most neglected displacement crisis by the Norwegian Refugee Council, NRC, for the second year. In its annual report released Monday, the NRC said the West African country saw a record high 707,000 new displacements in 2023, driven by escalating violence and worsening humanitarian crisis. 9 out of 10 most neglected crises outlined in the report were in Africa, with Cameroon, Central African Republic, Mali, and Niger holding the second to fifth position respectively. The NRC said in a press release Monday, its criteria for neglected displacement crisis are lack of humanitarian funding, lack of media attention, and the lack of international political and diplomatic initiatives compared to the number of people in need. The NRC report said 2023 saw a record-breaking shortfall in aid budgets of around $32,000 billion, leaving more than half of humanitarian needs worldwide unmet.
So there are three things that they are looking. One is the
lack of humanitarian funding, lack of media attention, and lack of international political and diplomatic initiatives.
One is lack of humanitarian funding. But they are talking about displacement. We are seeing a lot of people who are previously displaced when Burkina Faso was owned by France have gone back to their homes and they have started growing their crops and farming. They are saying it's low because they are not involved. Like the West, this is the West. The West is not involved. Another thing, they are talking about the media. Of course, Ibrahim Traore has censored all their media for reporting nonsense. All right? The other thing we are talking of is
lack of international
political and diplomatic initiatives. Come on, do we need international
diplomatic?
No, political and diplomatic, like international politics on our countries. That is what is ruining us.
Democracy.
Yeah, but don't worry us. We are cool. We are good as Burkinabes.
These are the standards that the West uses to gauge us. Even when you hear first world countries, third world countries, when you look deep down into these standards, you wonder, are real these people suffering, or it's just on your perspective? Because you find these people go to the villages in Africa, find kids naked or half naked, and they say this kid is suffering. That kid is actually living his best life barefoot and living within nature and living a very comfortable life. But your standards are not what our standards are of development.
And this is contradictory because one thing is the fastest growing economy in Africa in 2024 is Niger.
And they're saying,
and Niger is among the countries which have
neglected crisis.
Yeah, doesn't make a lot of sense. We cannot dwell on this and say, oh, we need to help Burkina.
No.
But they are, they always look for a way to go and now say we want to help this country.
They need to intervene.
Blah, blah. When they intervene, they come with their own people. They oust the president. Now they put their puppet. That's what Libya. It was all propaganda. And Libya is now in shackles. So that's what happened.
For the lack of humanitarian funding, Traore said we don't want any aid. We don't need any aid.
Exactly.
We can do it ourselves. So the fact that we don't have WFP, World Food Program initiatives in Burkina Faso and all of these savior organizations in the country doesn't mean that the people are suffering or are in need. When you look at Burkina Faso, when it comes to food, Traore said we are growing it ourselves, so there's no need for you guys to come and intervene in a community where people are actually doing it themselves. So your standards of saying you are a crisis Just because you are not there present in the country doesn't mean that it's the case on the ground. And the reason we keep on saying, brothers and sisters, may we look for news that are reporting Africa in a positive way and in the way that Africa is supposed to be reported on. So when Traore took the initiative to say, we don't want your France 24, we don't want all of your media stations reporting on our issues, it was a good move, because these are the kind of reports that are making the other African countries or other African people to say Burkina Faso is a no-go zone area. Mama Arikana Chiombo Rikwao just the other day took ADDI members to Burkina Faso. We saw them enjoying themselves, speaking about development, speaking about the future of Burkina Faso. Which crisis is this Burkina Faso that we're talking about? So,
that by their own terms doesn't make sense. So that's why we keep on saying we need us Africans to, to develop Africa.
Yeah.
But when we depend on them, they will tell our own narratives in their own way to ensure that they keep benefiting from us.
And they block others from coming to our country.
Yeah. So guys, when they tell you something, you need to think twice and look for your own information. Nowadays there are a lot of things to learn.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think in the comment section. If you'd like to support us, we have a buy me a coffee link in the description. Just hit it. It's $5 for one coffee. Maybe you can buy two. We'll be happy. One. We can also share one coffee. Like the video, share. We see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.